Hello friends, this is a specimen of brainstem along with cerebellum. Here you can see this is the ventral aspect of brainstem. This is midbrain, this is pons and this is medulla oblongata. Together these three consist brainstem. All of these three connected to the cerebellum via three peduncles. Here you can see this medulla oblongata. It is connected to cerebellum via this inferior cerebellar peduncle. This pons is connected to cerebellum via this middle cerebellar peduncle. And here this midbrain is connected to cerebellum via superior cerebellar peduncle. Now we will learn about the external features of medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, it is lowermost part of the brain stem. When we see the medulla, you can see that it looks like a bulb. So the another word for medulla oblongata is bulb, and from that we know that the bulbar palsy, it is the paralysis due to injury to medulla oblongata. Now when we see the ventral surface of medulla oblongata, we can see that in the midline there is a sulcus. This sulcus, it is the anterior median fissure. When we trace this anterior median fissure upward, at its junction with the pons, there is a triangular depression. This blind point, it is a foramen cecum. When we trace this anterior median fissure downward, here you can see it is shallower. It becomes shallow because of the crossing of pyramidal fiber. So here it is the part of pyramidal decussation. Lateral to this anterior median sulcus, this elevation, this elevated part, it is the pyramid. On each side of the anterior median fissure, there are pyramids. It carries the pyramidal fiber, which are corticospinal fiber. Lateral to pyramid, there is another sulcus. This sulcus is anterolateral sulcus. Lateral to it, this elevation, it is known as olive. Below the olive, there is presence of inferior olivary nuclear complex. Posterolateral to this olive, another sulcus is there. This sulcus is posterolateral sulcus. It is also known as postolivary sulcus. Lateral to this posterolateral sulcus, this part, it is the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Now we will learn about the cranial nerve attachment on this sulci. On this posterolateral sulcus, or we can say postolivary sulcus, there is attachment of rootlets of 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve. 9th cranial nerve is glossopharyngeal nerve, 10th is vagus and 11th is cranial part of accessory nerve. All these three nerves takes origin from this posterolateral or postolivary sulcus. Then after, the sulcus between the olive and pyramid. This sulcus is anterolateral sulcus or pre-olivary sulcus. It gives origin to rootlets of 12th cranial nerve, that is hypoglossal nerve. When we see the junction of pyramid with pons, there is origin of 6th cranial nerve, that is abducent nerve. At the junction of olive and pons, there is origin of 7th cranial nerve, that is facial nerve. And lateral to this, here at the cerebellopontine angle, there is attachment of vestibulocochlear nerve. Now, when we see the dorsal aspect of the brainstem, here we have cut this cerebellum. So here we can see the dorsal aspect of the brainstem. This is the closed lower part of medulla oblongata. Here the cavity is in the form of central canal. Then in the upper part, this is open part of the medulla oblongata. Here the cavity enlarges and it takes the form of fourth ventricle. So this fourth ventricle, it lies between the cerebellum dorsally and dorsal surface of pons and dorsal surface of upper open part of the medulla oblongata ventrally. Here you can see this is the floor of fourth ventricle. Now we will see the dorsal aspect of the closed part of the medulla oblongata. Here in the midline you can see this is the posterior median sulcus. On each side of the posteromedian sulcus there are three elevations. Medial to laterally, these are fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, and then after inferior cerebellar peduncle. When we trace this fasciculus gracilis upward, here there is a elevation. This small elevation, it is the gracile tubercle, or we can say clava. Beneath this gracile tubercle, there is presence of nucleus gracilis. When we trace this fasciculus cuneatus upward, there is another elevation. This is produced by nucleus cuneatus. This is cuneate tubercle. And lateral to it, this smaller elevation, it is the tuber cinereum. Beneath the tuber cinereum, there is presence of spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Now, when we see the upper open part of the medulla oblongata, here in the midline there is median sulcus. This median sulcus divide each half into two triangular area. Then each half is further divided by another sulcus, that is sulcus limitans. This lower part, it is formed by medulla oblongata, and this upper part here in this area, this floor of fourth ventricle is formed by dorsal aspect of the pons. Between these two, this part you can see this is the white stria medullaris. This white fiber are the stria medullaris. This fiber arises from the arcuate nucleus which is present on the ventral aspect of the pyramid. And then after this fiber goes dorsally, they run on this dorsal aspect of the medulla, and then along with the inferior cerebellar peduncle, they goes to the cerebellum. So the part beneath this stria medullaris, it is formed by medulla oblongata, and part above it, it is formed by dorsal surface of pons. And this all rhomboid shaped fossa is the floor of fourth ventricle. Now, when we see this part which is formed by medulla oblongata, in the midline we can see this is the median sulcus. Lateral to it, each half is divided by another sulcus, that is sulcus limitans. In this part of sulcus limitans, here you can see this is a small depression. This small depression, it is the inferior fovea. From the inferior fovea, this sulcus limitans goes somewhat medially, and this part is divided into two triangular area. This superomedial part, this triangular area, it is the hypoglossal trigon, beneath which lies hypoglossal nucleus. Inferolateral to it, this triangular area, it is the vagal triangle. Beneath this vagal trigon lies dorsal nucleus of vagus. When we see this vagal triangle below, it is again divided by this small ridge. This ependymal ridge is known as funiculus separatus. The part between the gracile tubercle below and funiculus separatus above, this part, it is known as area postrema. This area postrema, it is devoid of blood-brain barrier. And neuron here, they act as a chemoreceptor for vomiting center. So this part, it is area postrema. It lies between this funiculus separations above and gracile tubercle below. Inferolateral margin of floor of fourth ventricle, it is lined by this white ridge. This white ridge, it is known as tinea. Both the sides of tinea meet in the midline here and they form the fold. This fold is obex. When we see the inferolateral part of this floor of the fourth ventricle, we can see that it looks like a nib of pen. Here you can imagine that it looks like a pen nib. That's why it is known as calamus scriptorius.